Hey guys, in this episode, we're gonna be beating the crap out of each other. We're gonna be really explosive with some dynamic, combative movements. Don't try any of this stuff at home. As a SEAL for 12 years, I learned quick that testing and evaluation are critical. I wanna have the zip ties knuckle to knuckle. You have no idea what works and what doesn't until the bullets actually start flying. And now that I'm out, I get tons of people asking me all the time about their favorite TV shows and movies. What's realistic and what isn't? Well, there's only one way to find out. It's time to put Hollywood to the test. I'm Dom Rosso, and this is Media Lab. So in this first scene, we're gonna talk about something that happens in Hollywood all too often. And it's right at that very moment where guys are about to engage in battle and they toss their weapons away. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know if Hollywood thinks it's more honorable or more manly and cool, but it's not. And here's a montage of a bunch of idiots doing exactly that.
You wanna kill me like a man? Or you wanna kill me like a sheep? Come. No guns. Take me in.
Stay back! Or the ginger nut gets it! Oh, you little
So let's talk about the movie Jack Reacher. Awesome movie, everything in it. The fighting scenes, the shooting scenes, it was a great all-around movie. All the way up until the end, when Jack throws his gun away. I mean, seriously, when is that ever a good idea? I almost wanted to turn the movie off. But I'm gonna get past that because there's a great fighting scene with gross motor skill movements and KC fighting method that we wanna break down. So let's check it out. So I got my boy Dylan here with me today to help me break down this combative scene. We're actually gonna go through this combative movement by combative movement, but we're gonna talk through it first. So this is where classic Hollywood comes in. You know, it still drives me crazy because it's like right when this happens, it's like I want to turn the TV off. It's such a good movie and it ruins it right there. And then on top of it, he's gonna add a straight up bum rush. No tactical movement into it. And these are the parts that we really like because that gross motor skill movement, uppercut, these blocks are really good. And that's what we want to take into the lab and really dissect. And minus the falling all over the place and dramatic part of it, these movements are pretty good. And you see a little bit of the KC fighting method in here too.
Those destructive hammer fists breaking down his base, and then they just fall down for no apparent reason.
Jack just threw a hammer fist and he falls down in pain, right? Violent fights happen very quickly, and typically your adrenaline's pumping and you're in a combative mindset the entire time, not sitting around crawling all over the place. See him crash the gap, pass the hand. Good sweep right there. Kicks the blade away. I may have thought about picking it up. Now we've got the groin grab, of course, the classic groin grab.
Exactly.
And now we've got a jiu-jitsu lock. So he's twisting his arm, and here, the finishing move. Here's where we get to talk about the best part of Media Lab right here is we actually get to break the fight scene down, get hands-on, be combative, test some of this stuff out, see what works, what doesn't work. What is the first thing he does? He bum rushes the guy. You don't ever see anybody in the UFC or combatives moving in, running like this with their hands down, right? Because there's a lot of bad things that can happen to you. It's always a tactical movement in, whether you're stepping or your hands are up. But this isn't what Jack does. He's bum rushing the guy, hands are down, grabs him all the way to the wall, does a smash, bam, does a double slam here. Goes for the Hollywood choke, not something I'm gonna do, but he does a good job of clearing it. Once his hands are cleared, goes into this gross motor skill movements, uppercuts, which are really great. Here, does an outside block and then uses the same hand to come and block this uppercut. Now, I leave myself open here. I don't wanna do that. If I'm gonna do it, if he throws this, I'm probably gonna tighten up here and just keep all my tools really tight so I can throw my own strikes. Again, so he throws that left, and here I'm just gonna close up and drop down to avoid that body shot. Once that happens and he blocks, Jack throws his own uppercut, throws a kidney shot to this side, and then he comes back again, boom, with an overhand right. They kind of stumble around a little bit, again, a little bit of that Hollywood drama. Once they regain, you see a little bit of a fighting method that Dylan knows a little bit about.
So Jack Reacher throws up that cover, and that cover we see in KC fighting method, and they call it the Pensador. And basically what he's doing is He's got his hands up top, he's covering his head, he's covering his temples. It's a good default response to that swing punch, making sure that all this is protected and it keeps him from getting knocked out.
Once he crashes in, he throws a hammer fist of his own. So here, he throws a hammer fist to the face, hammer fist to the back, comes over the top again, hammer fist to the leg. So now he's changing levels, high, low, which is really cool. Once he does that, he cocks up with the left again and strikes him in the face. Great fight sequence, but then Jack Reacher goes flying on the ground. Now, that's kind of ridiculous because he just throws his own strike. Since when am I gonna go flying when I throw a strike? So that happens, Blade comes out, changes the game a little bit. He clears some space there and hollows out. Once he's back to his feet, he takes a really wide swing, and then again, he's using this KC fighting method to come back in and crash the gap. He does a clear, and then a clear again, gets hit. Once they get back here, again, covers up, works really well, passes the hand over, and strikes to get the blade out. Once the blade's dropped, he does a sweep here, sweeps his leg out. Once that happens, you see Jack Reacher flying across the screen because it's a sexy movement, right? Probably wouldn't be that dramatic and like a flying knee, but again, it worked for the movie. Once he approaches him, puts him in a wrist lock and puts a little pressure here, because now I have a little manipulation on him. I can control, I could detain him if I wanted to, but the weapon of choice here is a foot stomp to the head. All right, so we just walked through that. We got done explaining to you guys so you can understand it a little bit better. But what good would it be if we didn't run this in full speed? That's a great thing about Media Lab, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. All right, so we just got done breaking that down in full speed. The main thing was, without throwing your gun away and without the Hollywood drama that was added to all the dancing around and clowning around, there was some awesome fight moves, definitely effective, and we went full speed and didn't break anything. So awesome, this is what we do in Media Lab. We're looking forward to doing the next one. All right, guys, I get hit up on social media all the time with people asking me different questions. And so this last part of Media Lab, what we're gonna do is have an opportunity to answer some of those. So the first question is, do you watch UFC? And if so, who's your favorite fighter? Well, when I hear the words UFC, I can't help but to think about Royce Gracie and kind of evolutionized the entire sport of MMA. So I would say a lot of the credit goes to him. He's one of my favorite fighters for sure. Next question, if your life was a movie, what would the title be? Crush everything, obviously.